you ready to discover who you came here to be? Welcome to the Human Design and Astro Club podcast. Human Design is a system and a tool that is here to empower you and show you your greatest potential. Come learn with us and discover who you really are.
Welcome to the Human Design and Astro Club podcast. And this is the podcast you've been waiting for. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, I'm sorry. I have to just do that. I know that you already have music playing, but it's not playing for me when I say that. So anyways, hello, everybody. Welcome, as I just said, to the Human Design and Astro Club podcast. This episode is the program recap. And if you're new here, we're so happy that you're here. And if you have been with us for a while, welcome back. If we haven't told you that we love you, we love you. We're so happy that you're here joining us today and you've been here on this journey with us. We actually do have something coming up. I should maybe just say this real quick. We do have something coming up in the next couple of weeks that you might want to know about. If you've been on this journey with us for a while, you've been here for the last couple of years plus, with the Human Design and Astro Club, and you've watched me and Leah grow into the partnership that we have now, you might be interested in what's happening. I'll tell you the date, the 25th. There's something big happening for both of us on the 25th, and you'll be able to come along the journey with us over on our Instagrams. So I guess I should tell you what our Instagrams are. I am Journey Through HD on Instagram, and Leah, if you want to say yours, and then we'll do introductions.
I'm the Splenic Projector with underscores. Yeah, there's the underscore Splenic underscore Projector. They're all in the description.
Yeah, you can go in the description down below and click on those, and it'll take you right to our Instagram. And then collectively, we are Human Design Astro Club on Instagram as well. And we'll probably be sharing in all of those places and not all the same things in all those places. So we highly recommend just following all of those, those Instagram accounts, and you'll be able to find out the fun surprise that's happening for both of us over there on that date. Yeah. So I guess let me introduce myself and then we'll get started. All right. So my name is Krystle and I am a 1-3 sacral generator. I was about to say also a vessel of love. I am a vessel of love. But I'm a rising Capricorn, a Sagittarius sun, and an Aries moon.
And I am Leah. I am a 2-4 Splenic Projector, Aquarius sun, Taurus moon, and Libra rising.
And thank you for being here. So let's talk about real quick what the program recap is, if you don't know, if you're new here or if you need a refresher. So the program recap is basically where we go through 2 weeks of what's called the program. The program are a coupling pair in human design, which is the sun and the earth gates that create the program for the week. And I kind of think about what episode are we tuning into this week? That's what comes to me when I think of the program, when Ra talks about this. And Ra is the founder of Human Design. And he said, one of the easiest ways to understand actually the gates and channels and just like human design in general, but specifically the gates, is to watch the transits, is to follow the gates as they travel through the planets, because they are actually providing us a roadmap to success. Ra was also desire motivation like me, and desire motivation and human design are those variables up at the top. And we're both he's passed, but he was desire motivation. I am as well. And so we are here to see people's success and how people can be successful. And I think through following the transits, and one of the reasons why he did is because you can actually see openings. There's cosmic openings that you can capture. And we're actually about to dive into one, meaning the eclipse that we're going to get into shortly. So stay tuned for that. I feel like that's going to actually be a big opening for a lot of people because it's going to be in the North Node. So the transits really explain the openings. And what I love about, aside from astrology in the more of the storyline, I feel like astrology explains the storyline of the transits and what's happening in this material world, where I think human design really pinpoints to the why or the how or the what. It really gives like a very specific almost like activation that we're going to be experiencing. And when you put those two together, astrology and human design, you get the full explanation of how to be successful. So that's what these episodes are for, how you can be successful. And we also have an accompaniment to the program recap, which is called the program breakdown, which is actually, I think, phenomenal. I wish when I was like first starting, especially, or when I wanted to know about the transits and I didn't want to do all the work, because we do all the work for you guys. Mm-hmm. I love when people gave like either really detailed synopsis of something or detailed explanations. And I feel like if you use the program recap, these episodes here, with the program breakdown that you get through our email every Tuesday that we drop these episodes, we also email our list, which are our cosmic friends over there on our email list. We email you guys the program breakdown, which actually we dive into the specific gates and channels and some deeper aspects that you're not going to be able to hear on here. So if you're interested in the program breakdown, which is your roadmap to success, definitely click that description down below and sign up for our email list, and you'll be able to get it on Tuesday. Yes, I know that's weird. It's like, why aren't you sending it out on Monday? Because we have a lot going on Mondays. Okay. And,
just the two of us. So,
and also, I don't know about you guys, but my inbox is constantly being flooded and overwhelmed. And I feel like a lot of people send emails on Monday. I feel like Monday, we're like, got to get started with the week, but Tuesday we're a little more ready. So I feel like that's why I like to send it out on Tuesday, is because more people are ready to digest and take in that information more. So, and maybe one day we'll switch it up. I don't know. We're undefined roots around here. We don't know what we're doing half the time.
No.
So anyways, that's what the program recaps are. And if you want to check out our other episodes, highly recommend, because if you're interested in human design, we also do educational episodes. So you can go through the list over on our YouTube channel or wherever you're streaming this podcast, and you can check out our other episodes. If you want to make it a little easier for you, we have Leah's actually made it very easy for you guys. She's created what's called our beginner's path, where we actually put all of our educational episodes and a lot of the episodes broken down in pieces, so it's easier for you to find and navigate. So if you want to click the show notes down below, go to the humandesignastro.com, click the beginner's path, and you'll be able to check out all of our educational episodes over there.
Yeah.
Or anything.
Also some fun free stuff on there too.
Oh, so we do. We never talk about that.
We don't really talk about it. So we have to go along with that, we have a transits and planets crash course to the transits and planets. That one's free. We also have a strategy and authority guide, which is free. So any of those things could help you while you have the program breakdown and the recap to kind of like navigate all of the different things that we talk about. So
I would really highly recommend the transits one. I mean, if you're new, definitely the strategy and authority one, because we go through all of them. Yeah. And you'll be able, it's pretty, both guides that are completely freaking free, guys, are very detailed, because I have gate 9 and I'm an open throat. So
we just updated the strategy and authority one, so it has a bunch of new content in there. And
even the crash course was updated not too long ago as well. Yep. We're constantly updating. And also for anybody that has purchased any of our other classes, we also do classes, guys. We have like a lot of a la carte classes, a lot of self-paced classes that you can check out. We have a bunch of classes on the variables. Anytime we update, we send you the update and you get it for free. Yeah. So that's pretty cool. So we just wanted to let you know in case you don't know what's going on around here. So, okay. So where are we going next? There was okay. So we're going to go to a little bit of a dark place for a second. And I will say some of what we're about to talk about might be a little triggering. So I just want to preface that. And I am by no means trying to trigger anybody. I really want to preface that, but I can't start this episode without talking about this, because it is very close to my heart. So for those of you that may or may not know, I believe it was last Saturday, right? Yes. As we're recording this is, so basically Hamas bombed Israel. You probably heard about it. It was a shock around the world, right? Which is kind of crazy. And one of the reasons why I do want to bring it up, aside from some other stuff that I'm about to talk about, is it explains actually the transits in the program. So as I told you guys on the last episode, highly recommend going back and listening to if you haven't done so already, or if you need a refresher with what I'm about to say. So right before we moved into the next program, like hours before we moved into the next program, which was the 5157 program. 51 is the gate of shock. Okay. Which actually connects to gate 25, which is actually gate 25 is the gate of blood. It's connected to blood. It's universal love, which is what we're freaking missing. And what all of why this is happening, because we've lost our way. We've lost our way from our heart. And we've forgotten that we are all deeply connected and we are all one. And so this is a very seven-centered situation. Anything that involves war is seven-centered. We're not here to be fighting and killing each other anymore. That was the seven-centered way where they needed to conquer the world, and they didn't have that emotional solar plexus to really be able to be that guiding force on really coming back to that we are so deeply connected. And I just want to let you guys know, if you don't know, I am Jewish. And so anytime anything happens with this country or with, I'm going to say it, my people, it is a hard pill for me to swallow because it's constant. It's been from the beginning, and this goes for a lot of minorities out there and I'm sorry, I'm going all over the place with this, and I have an open throat, so I kind of go on rants. I'm also a defined heart, and I just in a defined G center, and I'm a vessel of love. So, and gate 51 and 57 are actually my bridge gates. Those are the gates that bridge my splits. If you don't know how any of that works, we're not going to dive into that right now. So what people I think aren't realizing with all of this, with what happened, is that we have really forgotten how deeply connected we are to each other. And that's what's happening here with these two countries. They're fighting over history. This is all based on history. And I know a lot of people are choosing sides, and I want to let you know, even though I'm Jewish, I am in support of Israel, but I'm also in support of all the people that don't want to be involved in this war, all the people that want to live in peace. And so in just a moment, I want to take a moment of silence just to hold space for these people. But I do want to let you know that every time I open up my Facebook right now, because I do actually know people in Israel, and I do know people that have family and loved ones in Israel, all I'm constantly seeing are people being families, children, people that are just trying to live their lives, just being murdered, and people living with in fear. We are not here to live in fear anymore. We have left that old way. We have left that seven-centered way. And that is one of the reasons why I wanted to bring this up, because I want us to realize our humanity. That's what this whole situation is here to show us, is that we've lost our way. We've gotten so numb. People are like trying to choose sides. No, we should be on the human side. And like, as a Jewish woman, I'm saying this and knowing that I am in support of all people, just all people that are trying to live in peace and live their lives. And we've become so numb and desensitized to what's actually going on and what needs to be happening as well. And so I want you to hold space for everybody that's suffering right now over there. There should not be a war happening over, just, to me, nonsense. And I know the history of both sides. I do. And we're not here for a history lesson. I know the history of both sides, and I want to take a moment right now of silence just to hold space for all the people over there that are going through this, that are in fear, afraid if this is their final days, and just like hold the space in our hearts for a moment. So if for everyone that's listening or watching us on YouTube, if we can just take a moment of silence to hold space for these people. Okay, we're going to take a moment of silence right now. Okay. I didn't want to do it for too long because I know it's like just silence on there, but just like to take a moment to do that. And I hope that you guys all understand why I needed to talk about this. And I also, if there's anybody out there that I just want to let you know that we're holding you. I know there's not a lot that we can do for you right now, but I'm sending you as much love as possible in what you're going through. Because I've already seen so much with what's going on with the people that I do know, and I just want you to know that I love you and that you are loved, and I hope you can get through this. I really do. I don't know if there's anything that you wanted to say, Leah. I don't want to just like.
No, you're good. You said it all. We're sending all of our love and support as much as we can do right now.
Yeah, and if there's anyone that needs just to let it out, I want to let you know my DMs are open. I don't, and this is not to come for me. Like either like if you I hope that we don't have any anti-Semitic listeners on here. But anti-Semitism unfortunately is on the rise right now. And I do have fear talking about a lot of this stuff sometimes because I know that people might misconstrue my words or be like, oh, I didn't know she was Jewish or something like that. And I want you to know that I do think about those things and that nobody should feel bad for who they are.
Mm-hmm.
I think that that's something that needs to be addressed, but we're not going to do that on this episode.
No. Well, and we're here to support everybody for who they are. Like that's the point of our club, and to be in our club is to accept you and every person for who they are and what they are here for on this planet, this lifetime.
Exactly. Okay. So thank you for allowing us to hold space for everybody. And hi there. We wanted to share with you more ways to connect with us and our free and paid resources and offers that will help you elevate your life and begin to tap into your fullest potential to live out your dreams. First up, we have created a free tips and tricks to understanding your strategy and authority and a free crash course on the transits that you can find in our beginner's path on our website in the show notes down below. And if you're ready to get a deeper understanding of the human design language and how to apply this to your very own chart, check out our user manual to your true self. And if you've been studying human design for a while and ready to lift up the hood of your vehicle and take a peek inside to better understand your process, we have created a mini variables class on the 4 radical transformations. Now, we do not have view or motivation available to purchase, but we have recently developed a kick-ass variable intensive called the Color Code Variable Intensive. That is a 5-week journey through the radical 4 transformations. And because our last round went so well that I can't even put into words, I can't even describe, but we are doing it again this fall. So please make sure you are subscribed to our email list because early bird enrollment is about to be made available. And lastly, if you are interested in one-on-ones with me, Krystle, then check out my readings on our website down below to snag one of my reading spots, or email us the word waitlist to be added to the next available openings as I get booked up very quickly. And everything else that you might be interested in, you can find on our website,
humandesignastro.com. And don't forget to check out our YouTube channel for some prime education. Now let's go listen to the rest of this captivating episode.
We're going to jump to now. We're going to lighten things up. Okay. We have open solar plexus. We've done the heaviness. We released. Now we're going to move to some fun stuff now. So our next segment is called True View High and Transferred View Low. So if you don't know about what view or perspective is in human design, it is connected to that bottom right arrow at the top of your human design body graph, your human design chart. And view and perspective explain the lens you see the world, the way you see the world. Okay. This is, we all uniquely see the world in different ways. And so this is going to be similar to your rose and thorn of the week, or your high and low of the week. And that's why we call it True View High, Transferred View Low, because it kind of makes it a little more fun and human designy. So yeah, I like to make up words too. Do you want to go first? You want me to go first?
You can go first.
I always. Okay. Okay. So my True View High was this last weekend. I went on vacation, which I haven't gone on vacation with just my husband also, by the way, not without my kids. And it was short-lived, but it was really great because we were able to go up to Winston-Salem. I don't know if any of you have ever been there, but I highly recommend going to Winston-Salem if you've never been, because it's beautiful and it's really interesting. It's like a little bit of I think a hidden gem that probably nobody talks about. But we went there because it's close to where we live. And I've always been interested in going there because it's got a lot of history. It's a really old city, and I'm Kitchen's environment, so I love going to new cities.
Yeah.
And it was really, really fun because it was really pretty. We went to a lot of like the historical places. Like there was what's his face's house? RJ Reynolds' house. He's like the tobacco guy. I don't know if anybody doesn't know or does know. So, and they had like a gardens area that his wife had built. So we went and saw that, and we saw a bunch of other things. We also went on a ghost tour. That was a highlight for me as desire motivation. If you guys don't know, there's actually entities that are connected to our motivation. And so my motivation of desire is connected to ghosts. And so I've always been fascinated by them. It's one of the reasons why I read the Akashic records, because I connect to them very well. And I'll tell you, I connected to some ghosts. I have a story that maybe, you know what, I might share that story the day this episode drops. Okay. On Monday, when this episode drops, I'll share some pictures of that trip, and I'll share some of the ghost stories that I encountered. I didn't even get to tell you yet those stories, Leah, because
Was it daytime or nighttime?
It was nighttime that we did the tour. And Dave and I heard things. Okay. My fourth color of touch and his fifth color of sound.
Yeah.
We heard things, and there was only 3 of us that actually heard it. The same thing. 3 of us. The rest of the group didn't hear a thing. And I'll tell you what we heard over on my stories on Monday. It was crazy. And then there was also, we stayed at a haunted inn accidentally. Well, everything there is pretty much haunted, but we didn't know how haunted this inn was. And after the ghost tour, I decided to look it up on the day we were leaving. I was like, I'm not going to look this up the night of, even though I was hearing things. There was actually, every night I would hear voices inside the wall. They were in the wall. They were not, there was nobody on the other side of us. They were, you ever see like, you know how like, if anyone's ever experienced like mice or something, or like where there's a creature or something in your wall.
Yeah.
That's what I heard, but people talking. And Dave was asleep. I thought he was talking to me at one point. And then I turned over and he was fast asleep. And then there was also another night that we were there that I was hearing clicking sounds, and I thought it was Dave again. And I turned over and I said, Dave, stop doing that. You know, my calm touch was like, I can't handle what's going on right now. And I turn over and he was sleeping. So
crazy.
And then the sound stopped when I said it, when I told it to stop.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of creepy things that happened. I'll share more of that over on my stories on Monday.
I would have been in my car.
What? You would have been in your car? Well, that's the reason why I waited to find out. I'll tell you the murder that happened in that inn on Monday.
Yeah.
If anyone's interested. So that was my high going there. And then my low was this freaking virus that I got. Okay. Mm-hmm. And how I thought I got it, which was very transferred personal for a moment because I blamed my husband. So I had eaten this. I really do still think it was a bad veggie burger that was in the freezer that had gone bad, as it tasted bad, and I stopped eating it. And I said to Dave, do not write the dates on the packages when you put them back in the freezer. And he goes, no. He's like, I just assume it's fine, and I take it out and I use it. And so I had a transferred view personal moment, and just like cursing him as, you know, I'm puking in the toilet because I thought it was the veggie burger, but turns out it's a virus because then he got it like 2 days later. And so it's been a very South Node eclipse shedding. Talk about purging. It's like we're all supposed to be purging during. We're recording this before the eclipse, so you guys will have just been past the eclipse by the time this episode drops, guys. So we haven't gone through it yet, but but we're obviously already going through it, right? Because we're in we're approaching the gate, and time doesn't exist, so it's already happening anyways, right? So I've been purging accidentally.
Literally.
This eclipse. My entire body has been purging.
Oh, that sucks.
So that's those are my views, my highs and lows of this episode. So what about you?
So my high in wanting, we went on a mini vacation as well. We took a short trip up to my college, and we got to take the girls to our college to see the campus and tour them around to where my husband and I had all of our college days, and showed them the different, so it's up in Maine where there's a bunch of forts and stuff, which are where they did a lot of battles on the coast. And we actually went into a haunted fort too, but it was during the day, and I was freaking out because I thought that we were going to be like, things were going to like grab me or like whisper and do all of that stuff. But it ended up actually being really nice in a, like, you're walking through like caverns of brick and going down like stairs, like these tunnels that were like super long and dark. Like you have to use a flashlight on your phone. And I'm like slightly claustrophobic in a like, I'm not going to like pass out if I go into a dark, small space, but like I wasn't willing to go into the smallest spaces, which my husband was like, well, I'm going in there just to irk you.
Yeah. Also first line, and we can't help ourselves.
Yeah, he couldn't help himself. He was like, yeah, I'm going in here. And him and Olivia, who also is a first line body, they both went into these dark, small spaces. And then Corinna, who is my youngest, who is afraid of like strangers in public spaces, was in her glory. She was like, this is so cool. She was like running around. She was like, this is awesome. Like we had to like have her slow down to keep up so we could keep up with her, so we didn't lose her in like these like dark tunnels that turned left and right. And it was crazy. And then we also went up to the top of a bridge, which is 420 something feet to the top of this bridge that we used to drive over all the time.
Oh, wow.
And I'm not like super afraid of heights, but it's not like, it's probably less scary for me than dark spaces. So I did a lot of getting out of my comfort zone for the kids to do these fun things. And that was really cool though, once we got up there, and it was fun to see those, you know, do kind of adventure-y kind of things. And then I would say my survival view transferred, getting some news about my other shoulder that wasn't injured initially, that I have to work through again. So going through the same process, but on the other side. And I have an appointment when we're recording today with another doctor to see what they're going to say about it. And I don't know. I'm trying to avoid everything that involves invasive surgery or procedures and stuff like that. But keeping in mind that if that's something that will fix everything, then I want to exhaust all of the options that I have before I get there.
Right.
So I go into survival where I'm like, I don't want to spend any money and I don't want to do this and I don't want to do that because it's scary. And I just have to let go of the fear of the future because I get stuck.
That's also one of your bridge gates too. 7.
Yep, it is.
Future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's where I'm at.
Yeah. So send Leah some love as well, guys. If you're listening to this or watching us on YouTube, because she's been through a lot with her shoulders. I can relate. I had my accident. I still suffer with my shoulder injury, and I just kind of like, I don't know, maybe one day I'll go back in, but it's just so, it's a lot. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of mental stress, body stress. And I feel for you with all of that because
the shoulders are just so complex. The more I learn about it,
they are, because they're connected to everything. Everything's connected. So, well, that's that for that segment. And let's dive into the meat and the potatoes. Okay.
Do it.
So let's dive into the program recap. Here we go. All right. So Monday, October 16th, is basically a rollover of last week's program. So it's halfway through the lines at this point. Oh, and I do want to preface, in case anyone's new here and they don't know how this works and what I'm talking about. When I call out the focus of the week, I am referring to the sun gate. Okay. And when I call out what's grounding us and what's supporting us, it is the earth gate that I'm speaking about, just so everybody knows. And then you'll be able to get what those exact gates are in the program breakdown on Tuesday. Okay. So, and also all of the gates run through the 6 lines. So that's why it's about almost about a week that that's why it's like tuning into the episode of the week, because we have the 6 lines that run through it. So on Monday, we have halfway through the program from last week. So it has trickled into this week. And so if you want to hear what I said about it on there, go ahead and check out the last episode. So let's discuss the beginning of the week's focus, which is on our intuition. And as we know from the last week's programs, we have been focusing on these inner knowings for a while now, that we're basically traveling through the spleen right now. And so what do I want to say here? We might not always have direct access to this ability, and it can be through the transits when these gates are activated, as I'm talking about with these intuitive gates. When these gates are activated, that you might get an opportunity to understand how this directly impacts you. So it's important to know where these gates are happening and if you have an open or undefined center. So people that have an open or undefined spleen, you probably have maybe been experiencing, as a lot of the focuses have been based around fear. You might have been feeling that, or these random intuitive hits that maybe you don't normally get, you might have been getting in the program. Just pay attention when I'm talking about these gates, if you're open, defined, or undefined, because that's going to directly impact you. So this focus is all about our continuity. Okay. What do you need to remember right now to change? All right. We just went through the eclipse, and a lot of old gunk might have come to the surface for you, and you are being asked to take a deep, hard look at what's not working anymore. And this focus is also a reminder that failure only happens when you don't try. So even though maybe you need to do something different, or something you have been afraid to do is coming up now, the program is inviting you to go for it. And what's going to help support you and ground you in that is growth. Isn't that interesting? Your life force energy, your engine, which people might not also have full access to all the time, is here to support you. So if you can focus on what needs to be changed or even improved or go a different way, growth will be the byproduct of that. Okay. See how amazing the program actually works. Leah's nodding her head because that's literally everything she's going through right now. And we're all going through this in some sort of capacity. So see how it personally impacts you. And so then on the 19th, we move into a new focus. And once again, on our intuition. Okay. You see how the program is working right now? And with a focus on our values. What are your values right now? And who do you deem as trustworthy in your life? This will be all about caring with the need to survive and will be grounded in mutation. This gate always gets me because it connects to my other half. I'd always, So we're being grounded in mutation. And what's interesting is this will be a full connection. Okay. And I'll explain more of what that means in our program breakdown that I just keep talking about, that we share, again, our bi-weekly email. It's your roadmap to success. So if you would like it, click the link down below and subscribe to our email. So what's grounding for this is asking us to look back on our past difficulties in order to establish a new direction. Okay. It's no coincidence that this is all happening during eclipse season. Okay. We're all going or about to go with this next eclipse that we're about to talk about. Stay tuned. We're all about to go in a brand new direction, or a better direction, or more evolved direction, a more pleasureful direction. This is going to be connected to Taurus. And so it's really time that if you didn't do any of this, then like we're also going through the shedding phases now that the eclipse has happened, and we're kind of coming into another void phase before we get to the next eclipse. So this is a time to really take a look at what's happening in my environment to help support you go into that next direction. Okay. And I want to ask you, do you see what's happening here? Are you following the bouncing ball? Because that's what I do. I'm always following the bouncing ball. Everything about these last few programs has been asking us to use our intuition to make those difficult changes for growth into a better life. So don't miss the mark. All right. The transits are here to support you. So we are going to move into the next week now. Okay. So we've finished the first week we've just talked about. We're now moving into the next week, which is Monday, October 23rd. And we still have last week's program at the beginning of the week. So I'm going to jump to the next program that we switched to, which will be on Wednesday, October 25th, when we gain a new focus on risk taking. Okay. So wait a second. The Matrix has just asked us to make a change right now. They're saying, the eclipse said, you got to make a change right now. And it's like, okay, be the fool. This is the time to be the fool. Pull the fool card in tarot, right? And take a risk. Use your intuition to do so. And then our support and grounding will be carrying through our life force. The response to ultimately know how to be selfless. It's time to stand in our power and truly begin to not only care for ourselves, but for those that you feel pulled towards, those that are in reciprocity with you. And if you remember from the last program, it was talking about our values, right? This is the other side of that. Do you see how all these pieces fit into this giant cosmic puzzle? So let's dive into the moment that everyone's been waiting for, I'm sure. And let's talk about the eclipse. Okay. October 28th, we will have the final show of the lunar North Node eclipse in Taurus. This will be the last eclipse in Taurus. It's a closeout from the last nodes, basically, because we have now shift axis is right. So we've shifted the axis into the Aries Libra axis, and we're leaving. We've now left at this point the Taurus and the Scorpio. That was the last axis we were in, right? And so if you guys don't know, Leah and I are both North Node Taurus. So this is kind of a big deal for us. And if you're North Node Taurus, this is probably a big deal for you. Or if you have Taurus in your big three, might be a big deal for you as well. We have just completed our nodal return And this is the grand finale of that. So think back to the last access, as I was just talking about, which was like the last couple of years that we've been going through a lot of this, right? That we've been going through a lot of growth in regards to the themes of Taurus. Okay. And also look to where you have Taurus in your chart. As I said, this is a North Node eclipse. So this will be all about moving forward. Okay. And as we can see, this is what the program has been calling for us to do. Pay attention. Okay. Pay attention. You can either be guided by the transits if you have awareness and take advantage of the cosmic openings, or you can be thrown around like a rag doll if you're unaware. So, eclipses always bring significant change and often upheaval. But this one, I do feel could bring some big rewards if you're paying attention, if you're willing to take a risk. If you're willing to take a risk, I believe you will be rewarded. Okay. So that's what is calling for you to do. Take a chance on yourself and hold the pose of nurturing and caring for your needs that will lead to a more simple. I like to use Taurus. I don't think people realize Taurus really wants simplicity. Okay. I actually got a reading done a little while ago, a Kabbalistic reading done. And I was told, because I'm North Node Taurus, they said, keep it simple. And that is something that I live by. If it feels super hard and it feels like I'm trying to push a boulder up a hill and I'm not like feeling satisfied as a generator and fulfilled, I need to go back to the simplicity. Keep it simple. So this is going to lead us to a more simple and fulfilling life because that's what Taurus wants. It's the bull basking in the sun and feeling the heat on its body, knowing it is well taken care of. And again, we will dive deeper into this in the program breakdown that we will email you, the bi-weekly program breakdown to our cosmic besties. So definitely, again, subscribe to the email down below so that you can get the deets. And so that is all I have for now.
Amazing. So I feel all of this personally. So I'm just interested to hear from everybody else. If you want to let us know if this resonates, what you're going through, or if you need to chat with someone.
Yeah, you can share in the comments on YouTube if you would like. You could send us an email, send us a DM. We love getting emails from you guys. I love getting DMs from you guys. And also we do have over on our Spotify some questions. And I'm going to leave this question again. I'm going to ask it on here and I'm going to ask you, please go over and so that we can be a better support to you guys. We're going to be doing a Halloween episode. For the last 2 years, we've done serial killer analysis on serial killers. So if you would like us to pick your serial killer that you would like us to talk about, answer that question over on our Spotify app. And let's dive into what the cards have to say.
Yeah. So for the first week of October 16th, I pulled the Queen of Cups. And the Queen of Cups is all about emotions, letting emotions flow, letting them come and pass and guide you. It's a very sensitive card. So if you're feeling a little sensitive right now, she's really telling you that it's okay to feel that way. It's, it's a very sensitive, compassionate, and gentle card where, you're feeling supportive for yourself. You're feeling like a support for somebody else. So if you see that someone else is going through something, just to give them some love, support, be an ear for them to talk about whatever they're going through so that they know that they have someone to trust and to, they are able to come to you for just to be able to air it out. Because sometimes people just need to talk it out. I know as myself for a defined throat, Aquarius, a lot of other different things. Like I'm not going to talk about anything until someone says you need to talk about that. And then the floodgates open. So when I have somebody that is there and they're willing to, take space and be supportive, then, just recognize that invitation for somebody that might need it. And that can apply to anybody. It doesn't have to be just projectors for the invitation part. But that is something that you can be aware of. But the advice for this card is to tune into your nurturing side. And in decision making, your emotional intelligence is your best guide. So this can be a solar plexus kind of idea where you're allowing your waves to go in and out of your wave to find some clarity, maybe not making a decision in a high or a low necessarily, but just allowing yourself to process through that feeling of the high or the low, and then, tuning into your body and to your inner authority and what that feels like for you. So then for the oracle card, I picked, or the cards came up with, it's called Imrama. And it says, where are you being called to journey to? The Celtic word Imrama means a journey of the soul, a voyage on which we don't know where we are going, but our soul knows the way. If you pull this card, you are either being called on a soul journey or you are already on one. I feel like we all are on one. It could be to a physical, ancient place or a metaphoric place. When we journey to places that our soul remembers, a shift takes place, both within us and to the planet as well. You are being called to journey to a place that is sacred to your soul. Perhaps it is a journey to the world's sacred sites, or it is called to cross the country, climb a mountain, lie on the desert floor, drink from an ancient well, and there are places to see and old friends to meet. And it says, I see spontaneous pilgrimages in your future, which I feel like is pretty accurate for us too. If a physical voyage isn't possible, journey through the portal of your heart. Follow the invisible soul trail and be willing to explore. Maybe read a book or watch a movie about a sacred time or place. Or perhaps you are being called to study an ancient lineage or body of work. Whatever your circumstances are, your soul is ready to journey deep. And the activation for this card says, may seeds of light long ago planted begin to rise. I am ready to remember ancient secrets from lands that my soul knows from times past. May I be held by the ancient lineages that my soul has served and remember that I don't have to do it all alone. Very big.
That's very accurate.
It is super accurate. I'm loving these cards. So then for week 2, what do we say that was? The 23rd?
Yes.
Yes. Sorry. I'm the one questioning now. I got the Hierophant, which is also called the High Priest. In a lot of other decks, this one is the Rider-Waite. So this one has just a different name, but it's number 5 in the major arcana, also called the High Priest. And this one's actually connected to Taurus, which I thought was
it couldn't
also
be more accurate. Couldn't be more accurate. These cards are, they're all cards are always accurate, but this is like, to a T.
Yeah, to a T. And the High Priest or the Hierophant is a spiritual leader. He's also maybe just someone that has a lot of wisdom or knowledge. It is also connected to your intuition and bringing people together or things or plans or talents together to create new ideas and for you to start or create a new project. And the High Priest or the Hierophant is a direct channel to the spirit world. So consider it would be the brow chakra or your head or ajna. Those could be the 2 channels for you, or the 2 places for you to kind of tap into your intuition, tap into what feels good for that moment. And promoting any sort of like psychic abilities or energetic abilities, finding your spirit guides, whatever it is that you believe in, just trusting in their support for you. And this might feel a little bit chaotic, but there's also a lot of trust in the grounding energy of Taurus. So think of, Taurus being that grounding energy like Krystle just talked about. You can kind of imagine yourself coming back to this grounded place of feeling calm, feeling like the simplicity of life and not feeling like everything is going to be so complicated forever. And in my book here, I have one that connects to crystals, and it says to use a Herkimer diamond. And this one enhances your originality and spontaneity, and it will help you deal with any chaos and get back on a stable footing and progress your ideas in a unique way. Herkimer diamonds are really cool to work with.
Yeah. Wow. That's very, very accurate.
Yeah.
And so we hope that this episode served you well and has provided you some insight and support. And if you're over on our YouTube channel, please give us a big thumbs up so that we can reach more weirdos like you and us, because that's what we're always trying to do, reach more weirdos. So please give us a big thumbs up. Give us a comment if you have anything to share. We would love to hear from you. And as always, may the stars ever be in your favor, and we will see you over on the next one.
We'll see ya.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you for tuning into today's episode of our podcast on the Human Design and Astro Club. We hope you have found the information insightful and useful. If you enjoyed the show, please consider leaving us a review and sharing it with your friends and family. We love to hear from our listeners, so feel free to reach out to us with any feedback, questions, or suggestions for future episodes. Until next time, thanks for listening, and we'll see you on the next one.